Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about finding your purpose after a breakup.
If you clicked on this video, good job. You're watching the right videos in addition to the no contact ones and all of our other getting your ex back videos. So we're proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
I will say before we go on that Craig and I are available for coaching sessions. So if you would like a one-on-one on your situation, you can head to our website and book from there.
Absolutely. You know, one of the worst parts about going through a breakup is feeling like nothing matters anymore. Like the only thing that you care about is fixing this relationship. You don't care about all of those things that you used to care about, that you used to love, that used to bring you joy. They're just gone. And the only thing you think about is, I wish I had been a better partner. I wish I could go back in time and be what I needed for them so they didn't leave me. Mm-hmm. So it's normal if you're experiencing that. I think most people go through that. I know I felt like that for a long time. And purpose is so important in our life. And I have seen time and time again that people, when they feel like they have purpose, whatever their purpose is, they feel much more aligned with themselves, and they are a lot happier, and they get through the breakup a lot easier. So you have to figure out what your purpose is, what drives you, okay? Because, you know, as you're navigating this breakup, you're probably going to be depressed. You're probably going to feel lost, feel like you don't know what to do with yourselves. And just kind of every day is only wondering about where your ex is at, what they're doing, and these imaginary role play scenarios and arguments and discussions that we have in our head about what we'll say and do when they come back.
Oh yeah, our purpose then becomes getting our ex back, which makes a lot of sense when your purpose in the relationship might have been the relationship. You know, when we're in a partnership, we have joint goals. Sometimes we work towards a joint purpose. We have aligned values, we want similar things, we have, you know, a direction that the relationship is going in. And so it can be really difficult after a breakup to now define those things on your own. You really do feel lost. And when you're in a relationship, you kind of go through these routines. You know, you go to the store, you think about, well, what does my partner like to eat? Let me pick up those things. Everything you do, you are considering the fact that you're in a relationship. So you think, well, how can I consider my partner into this equation?
True.
You know, any decision that you make towards the future, well, how will my partner fit into this decision? And that's really what partnership looks like. So once that's not there anymore, you're left to make all of these daily decisions on your own. And there's a song by The Script that encapsulates this idea so well. And he talks about still leaving another plate on the counter, but eating without her is the line.
Yeah.
And so you're used to all these habits, these things that might seem superficial, but I think they have roots in purpose. You know, I'm sharing a life with someone, and that brings purpose.
Yeah.
So after a breakup, we can get stuck and hard to break out of those things. And on the macro scale, when you think about it too, thinking about future plans. You know, maybe it's building a family together. Maybe it's building a business together. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know, having some spiritual goals together.
Raising kids together.
So in couples therapy, sometimes what they'll do is have a couple find that shared purpose, to have that meaning, to have, you know, something that's driving that relationship and keeps it together. And many of you are likely to be partnered with people who share your values, who share your purpose. So this can be really tough once that relationship ends to now figure it out.
Yeah, because now you're like left to your own devices, right? And you're so depressed, it's like hard to think about, you know, what your purpose may be or where you're going to go. And for many of us, the purpose that we've had or that we've always kind of had can be linked to our past and trauma that's happened in our past. So if you think about your childhood and what life was like, you want to consider what was the way that you were treated make us believe that our purpose is as an adult and what we're doing with our life. For example, you may have had pressure growing up to make other people happy, right? Especially mothers that use a lot of guilt. They put a lot of pressure on you to do things and live a certain way. You may have been the scapegoat in your family. I can tell you that my stepdad, he used to try and make me the scapegoat. In fact, he still, even though it's been many, many years later, will complain to my stepbrother and try and blame the marriage failing on me.
Wow.
Me, who was like in school, working. Sometimes I had a couple jobs, would go out with just my friends, never caused any problems. Him, who was drinking, punching holes in the wall, gambling, doing drugs, cheating, quitting his job, disappearing for days on end, and yet he tries to blame me and make me the scapegoat.
Yeah.
But because, I understand this stuff, I realize that, he can't take any responsibility or accountability for his life, hence why he's still the same way he is 25 years later, whatever it is. But many of you may have had that kind of pressure put on you, and you're not even aware of it. You're not even conscious of those things.
Yeah, then your purpose then becomes, I need to take the blame for things. I need to be the scapegoat, or I need to be the person that makes other people happy. That's my life purpose, is to make sure other people are at peace and are calm and don't yell at me and aren't angry at me. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that can drive a lot of our behaviors, is to people please, is to make other people think highly of us. And also to be perfect can be another one of those things.
Yep.
I know you had mentioned mother's guilt, but I see this a lot actually with fathers and their sons. They have this pressure on their son to be this perfect embodiment of masculinity, and they have to be tough. And you're talking about an 80-year-old boy sometimes.
Yeah.
They have to be perfect, and everything needs to be really done right, exactly to the T. They have to be highly successful. So there can be a lot of pressure from both parents on a child that ends up making them believe that their purpose is something distorted because of that trauma, because of that pressure.
Yep. And then they kind of shun you if you don't live up to their expectations, and you're constantly not feeling good enough about who you are.
Right. And another one is also the purpose to be needed. Those people who need to be needed, they need to be constantly in service to others. Mm-hmm. So this could be a child who grew up maybe with parents who had illnesses. You can see some first generation people, struggling with this too, because they see their parents are having a really difficult time navigating in a country that doesn't speak their primary language. Mm-hmm. So these are a lot of the issues that can come up and that later leak out into your relationship, and especially into your breakup when you're trying to redefine your purpose again.
Yeah. And so many of you may have been doing these things with your partner as well.
Mm-hmm. And it can be so difficult to place your purpose on a single individual. There's a big difference between your purpose being, I want to be able to be a great partner, versus I need to be a great partner to this specific person, and if it doesn't work out, then life is pointless. Mm-hmm. And sometimes our brain can get caught up in the latter because we get so hyperfixated on this one person.
That's true.
So there is nothing really wrong to say that my purpose is to be a great partner. That's a good thing. That can be a good value to you, that you want to show up to a partner in that way. You want to be able to share life together. But, how far are you taking it? And are these things realistic? Are these things sustainable? Is it sustainable to say, I don't know, Spencer Smith has to be the reason for my life? So it could be really difficult. There's a Spencer Smith watching this somewhere. It's like, what?
How did you not? What?
Yeah, it can be really fickle if your purpose is based off of one particular person. And sometimes we do this without even trying. We don't cognitively say to ourselves, I'm living because of this person. But sometimes we start to act like it. Sometimes we start to feel like it too. So we have to be very cognizant of the way that these things are playing out and how our purpose is being defined after a breakup.
Yep. So once the relationship ends and all of these things feel like they're gone, or maybe gone forever, you don't know, it can be really difficult to realize that now you have to focus on you and worrying about you and finding out what your purpose is. Because if you feel like you've lost your purpose when you don't have your partner anymore, now it's just kind of like, I don't know what to do. I'm just lost. And I don't know where to go or how to live my life anymore. It just feels kind of like black and white, where you don't really know what to do for yourself. And this can be a good thing for you, because you should be a huge priority in your life, and your feelings and your needs and your dreams and your desires and your purpose should be making you happy as well. So this could be a good time for you to be selfish in a positive way. People always assume that selfish is negative. And, years ago, I think it was in grad school, they were talking about, no, being selfish can be a good thing. We're taught being selfish is bad, but it's not. Yes, there can be times when being selfish is bad, but it can also be good to be selfish and think about yourself. If you're single, this is a good time for you to reinvent yourself, who you want to be. Focus on healing your attachment issues, taking a step back and thinking about your life and where you want it to go. Now you have endless opportunities to do that. And whatever work you put in is going to pay off with dividends for yourself and feeling good about yourself and where your life is going.
Exactly. You want to be able to come back to what's important to you. And something that can help is thinking about what was important to you prior to the breakup, but also after. What has this relationship, what has this breakup taught you about what really matters to you? And I'm not just talking about a specific person, but thinking a little bit deeper, thinking about the themes, thinking about the values underneath that. What is important to you? And we want you to almost adopt that as a mantra in your mind. What matters? What's important? What do I want? Am I living aligned to my values? Am I living aligned to my purpose? And meaning is all about what you make it. We're not going to feel purpose-driven 100% of the time, every single day with everything we do. There's going to be times where we're going to be picking our nose. There's going to be times where we're, lollygagging, doom scrolling, watching a series, doing something that seems really insignificant or seems like, this probably has no meaning. But meaning is all what you make it. And, we talk about Viktor Frankl actually quite a bit here, but he has a really great book called Man's Search for Meaning, and he talks all about purpose and meaning and the importance of meaning in your life.
And, if you don't know anything about that book, he was in a Nazi concentration camp, and he was able to find purpose within himself despite all the atrocities going on around him. And because he was able to do that, it helped him stay mentally strong and survive it. And so that's why he wrote that book, so he could teach people that the meaning behind things that you create for yourself really has a huge impact on your life.
And your mental health.
Yeah.
So this whole concept is super important when you're going through a breakup, and I think it's not so talked about. So we wanted to shed some light on it to have you think for yourself. And you don't have to be a philosopher. You don't have to, be this lofty thinker to be able to figure out what your purpose is to you, or at least have some ideas that you can be content with, satisfied with, and that positively impact your mental health.
Yeah, you should definitely think about purpose and finding what is important to you, aside from trying to get your ex back. I know that's also important, but there are other things to consider too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes after a breakup, we get so caught up in trying to get our ex back. We make that our purpose, or we try to one-up them. We try to see what they're doing. We're investing so much time and energy into that. And we're really taking away from ourselves when we do that. And we're really taking away from what makes us attractive, what makes us secure, what makes us confident. So we do have that energy. We just need to harness it and redirect it back on ourselves. So that's really what we mean when we say focus on yourself, focus on yourself. We mean, align back with your purpose.
Absolutely. All of these things, just take some time to think about it. Maybe jot down some notes and just consider these things, because it's better than just having tunnel vision on just your ex being your purpose, when they really have every right to do whatever they want with their own life. So you can't make your purpose about somebody else if they don't want you in their life, right? Because how's that going to work out for you?
Yeah.
All right? So just think about these things. And of course, if you found this helpful, great. I'm glad you did. You can get our help personally on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.